Detroit used to be the bastion of American automobile manufacturing. After a number of crises in the industry, the city's population has fallen from 2 million to less than half of that. But cars are still a crucial economic factor in the Great Lakes region. Every January, the North American International Auto Show is held here. It features dreams of mobility molded in metal, and the guiding theme seems to be big is beautiful. Our car tester Matas Kurat says American companies are putting relatively small engines even in their large cars. The Lincoln Navigator's engine is only 3.5 liters, but that doesn't make it environmentally friendly. Ecological alternatives do exist, but their share of the market is modest. The Daimler subsidiary Smart has brought out the third generation of its electrically powered model, which has enjoyed increasing success. Smart CEO Annette Winkler explains that people buy low-emission, or in the Smart's case, no-emission cars because they want to do their part in keeping the urban environment healthy. She's enthusiastic about the Smart's philosophy and says you really have to test drive it to appreciate it. Just get in, drive the electric Smart, and you won't need her to explain anything else. It's a barrel of fun. Mercedes has plug-in hybrids too, but Daimler decided not to install alternative engine technologies in the new E-Class Coupe it's unveiling here. Dieter Setsche, the head of Mercedes-Benz, says his company's E-Class sedan is a hybrid, but not the coupe. A hybrid engine takes a lot of space that would otherwise go to the trunk, and a coupe already has little trunk space. A hybrid coupe makes little sense, and Mercedes isn't planning one at the moment. The premium Japanese brand Lexus has been competing directly with Mercedes for 2 decades now. In Detroit, Lexus is presenting the 5th generation of its luxury class sedan.
This car is brand new from the ground up. I mean, literally everything in that vehicle is new, from the wheels to the tires to the aluminum panels, which makes up so much of that vehicle, to the engine, the transmission, the interior. Everything is brand new. So we couldn't be more pleased with the styling. It looks beautiful. But beyond that, once someone gets in that vehicle and has a chance to drive it, they're going to fall in love with it, we think.
Many interior technical refinements contribute to a pleasant ride. The LS500 is powered by a 3.5-liter V6 twin-turbo gasoline engine. There is also a hybrid variant. Mata says the Japanese aren't the only ones who can do that. Here in Detroit, BMW has unveiled its new 5 Series hybrid car. This plug-in hybrid can travel 50 kilometers on electricity alone, but it also has a 135-kilowatt 4-cylinder gasoline engine. The new top model of the 5 Series is the M550i xDrive. Grin Speed and ZF are presenting the Oasis. It's an agile, self-propelled electric car with a small garden integrated behind the windshield. Is this a brilliant innovation or just a marketing gag? Grin Speed CEO Frank Rinderknecht says his company is about nothing but creativity all day long. Employees go through life with their eyes open, he boasts. They discuss things, give free rein to their imaginations, and take huge leaps. It's easier to backtrack than to look for every next tiny idea incrementally. Supplier ZF focuses on electromobility and reducing traffic accidents and emissions. Chairman Stefan Sommer says the company's principle, see, think, and act, means it doesn't restrict its focus to sensors and new computer technology. It concentrates on the mechanisms to implement physically on the street what computers design in terms of autonomous driving. And VW? It is going through the biggest change in the company's history. Along with the extended 7-seat version of the Tiguan, the ID Buzz is getting its premiere here in Detroit. VW marketing chief Jürgen Stackmann says the compact ID is one end of the spectrum. It has the same exterior dimensions as a Golf. Inside, it's as big as a Passat. This is the other end. In the coming months, VW will show what fills the range between the two poles.
Passiert noch sehr viel Leben und das zeigen wir in den nächsten Monaten.
The versatile vehicle has a 600-kilometer electric range and plenty of other interesting features. Mata says the lack of a real dashboard with instruments takes some getting used to. Here, everything is projected onto the windshield. The sat-nav projects instructions so they appear as if they were directly on the road. A turn arrow looks like it's actually in the intersection. Matas is sold. This car is fun, he says, and he can't wait till it comes onto the market, probably in 2022. Suzuki has made a name for itself as a specialist for compact cars with all-wheel drive. Now the Japanese automaker is bringing out a micro SUV. It's called the Ignis, and it aims to carve out a niche for itself in the SUV jungle. Car tester Andre Zimmermann says that despite their usual large size, SUVs have become part of downtown life. Drivers feel safe in them and say they can see better because the seats are so high. Suzuki doesn't want to build really big cars, so they've come up with a pocket-sized one. The Ignis combines the best of two worlds in sensible fashion. It also has a certain retro charm, incorporating design elements of various Suzuki models. The Ignis is 3.6 meters long, about the same as a VW Up, but the Suzuki offers an all-wheel drive option. Its compact size and 18-centimeter clearance make it a pleasure to drive. Andre says the seat height of the Ignis is nice. It feels as though you can see everything really well. And in addition, the small size of the Ignis means that you're not always afraid of running into things. The only option is a 1.2-liter 66-kilowatt engine. We're testing the front-wheel drive model. It comes with an optional mild hybrid system that reduces fuel consumption by 0.3 liters to 4.3 liters per 100 kilometers. Its top speed is 170 kilometers an hour. Andre says that the 1.2-liter motor never feels too weak. It's powerful enough to accelerate quickly. The chassis can be described as taut. You can really feel the road, although not in a bad way.
Man bekommt von der Straße sehr viel mit. Dennoch hatte ich nie das Gefühl, dass es unangenehm straff ist.
A user-friendly instrument panel and a clear arrangement of buttons are the highlights of the interior. Buyers can choose orange or titanium gray to complement the black and white color scheme. Andre says that he likes the interior of the Ignis, though a look at the price tag tells you that the materials are hardly top-notch. Still, Andre appreciates the retro 1980s elements in the design. The only thing he doesn't like is the steering wheel, which he doesn't feel fits in with the rest.
Was mich daran stört, ist das Lenkrad, weil das passt leider nicht ganz ins Gesamtkonzept.
Andre says that space is always an issue with a compact car. You certainly don't expect any space in the back seat.
Kurz Kopf einziehen. Also ich muss sagen,
Andre says he didn't expect to have so much legroom, and the driver's seat adjusted to his height. There's enough headroom as well. He says Suzuki has come up with a good solution. Now to the trunk. Andre says there's considerable more room there. One interesting detail is that you can adjust the angle of the seats or simply push them forward. Andre says the Ignis has plenty of space. The Japanese car maker has combined a small engine compartment with lots of room for passengers and cargo. Andre really likes the Ignis. It combines the size of a city runabout with higher seats and a design that stands out from the crowd. The interior has plenty of room for 4 people, and it comes with an all-wheel drive option, which is not a given for a car of such dimensions. The combination, he says, is very successful.
Was bei den Abmessungen ja auch nicht unbedingt selbstverständlich ist, das ist wirklich eine sehr, sehr gelungene Mischung.
And then there's the price, which is hard to beat. The basic version of the Ignis costs 11,900 euros in Germany, while the mild hybrid version we tested goes for around 17,000 euros, even though it comes with the second most expensive set of options. McLaren's entry-level sports series consists of 3 vehicles. The most inexpensive one, the 540C, costs a cool 160,000 euros and was unveiled the same year as its big brother, the 570S. That model offers even better performance. The cars from this series are the first McLarens with mirrors for makeup and glove compartments. The youngest member of the family, the 570 GT, is the most practical in everyday use. Car tester Reinhold Deisenhofer says the Gran Turismo is made for long journeys. That is to say, it's a comfortable sports car with a serious motor that can also be driven on a racetrack. That's what the McLaren 570 GT is.
Damit sind wir bei McLaren 570 GT.
But that's not all it is. Reinhold tells us that this super sports car for wealthy drivers now even has a trunk and a back hatch. Together with the space in the front end, this McLaren has 370 liters of storage room, about the same as a compact car. But the McLaren GT, of course, reaches its destination faster and more comfortably than the 570S. That's because of the reduced spring rates of the front and back axles. They make the 570 GT more comfortable, if less suited to the racetrack. Nonetheless, it still has the same power and velocity as its sportier sibling. A top speed of 328 kilometers an hour and 570 horsepower should be enough for any lead foot, although it is 0.2 seconds slower accelerating.
Rund
195,000 euros is a lot of money, says Reinhold, but this British super sports car offers a lot of race car excitement, more than the Porsche 911 Turbo, which has a similar amount of power and a similar price tag. The McLaren, with its carbon-dominated interior, its perfect transmission, its razor-sharp steering, and its superlative motor, simply screams race car. The McLaren also screams luxury. The red leather and the carbon fiber decorative elements are real eye-catchers. Like its siblings, the GT has control buttons in the middle to adjust steering and engine performance. The 570 GT comes with a standard set of 8 loudspeakers, a Bowers & Wilkins hi-fi system with 12 speakers and 1,280 watts is optional. The comfort the McLaren offers makes it serious competition for Porsche's 911 Turbo. Ultimately, the 540C triumphs in terms of value for money. The trump card of the 570S is its sportiness. And the 570 GT is the most practical member of the series. A Formula student team sponsored by SEAT has an exclusive opportunity to test drive their latest racer on the Castelloli track. Among the drivers is Jorge Genet. He listens attentively as the designers go over the car's details. Jorge leads the Formula student race car out onto the track in a Leon Cupra. The racer is all-electric with carbon monocoque and outsized spoilers. It has no problem sharing the track with a sporty serial production car.
Well, SEAT does a lot of things. Actually, it's our main sponsor. Well, one of the more important things that they do is that they let us use their prototype facilities. So they lend us some materials to actually do the final coatings or for laminating stuff. So yes, actually they play a really big part, especially for all the standout parts of the car, the aerodynamics, the monocoque and stuff. They are really a big help for us.
It took about 9 months to plan, design, and build the Formula student race car. The team of some 20 students developed it in their free time, and this is their chance to prove they've learned more than just theory. They get advice and support from SEAT's experienced engineers.
I think it's fantastic. These sort of projects are really good because for the people that, for the young students, for the young people that wants to be involved in motorsport, it's very difficult to get a job in a proper team because normally the teams need experience, errors are not allowed in racing. And to be able to start understanding all the aspects of a car, geometries, engine, cooling, weight, distributions, and so in such competitions with people with your same experience, I think this is great because it's a big challenge and it's a very good way to start understanding what you will find out later on if you manage to work as an engineer in a racing team.
A change of scene. The UPC Eco Racing team inspects its design in a production hall used by SEAT to develop its prototypes. Over 75% of the race car's components were developed by the students themselves. The sponsor helps to cover the costs.
We first come with a set of objectives according to our philosophy of our values, our team values. For example, this last year, this car, the Eco set, we wanted a sustainable car, an efficient car. We worked for it, and we proved it both in United Kingdom and Germany, the competitions. We had the most efficient car.
SEAT's Vice President of R&D, Matthias Rabe, takes the time to look and listen as the students show and explain their designs. SEAT stands to benefit from discovering and supporting new talent. Matthias Rabe stresses how important and even fascinating it is to work with young, passionate, and very talented people who come up with extremely interesting ideas for vehicles. And it's important for SEAT to make contact with young potential talent. They're not just theoreticians, he says. They're aspiring engineers with great practical understanding and a passion for motorsports. He couldn't wish for better young engineers. The automotive industry is entering a turbulent period of transition. The internal combustion engine has had its day. The task now is to make electric cars feasible and practical, and to make use of their full potential. That's just what these Spanish students are doing. Some of them are already working for SEAT on the side and securing their future in automotive engineering. Vintage car meets bring antique and classic cars and their owners together. The models are as widely varied as the people who drive them. This year, more than 100 antique cars, pre- and post-war models have come together on Erftstadt's Market Square. But mixed in with the antique cars is a BMW 320i. It looks like a modern convertible, but it's a modern classic, a collector's item that has to be at least 15 years old. To count as an antique in Germany, a car has to be 30 years old. The BMW's owner, Andreas Grevelding, explains that it's a 1992 model, so it's no antique. But at 25 years old, it counts as a modern classic. Andreas's BMW boasts a 129 horsepower engine, a sport suspension, and sport exhaust. Andreas says it has the M Sports package, so it rides a bit lower. It's a 4-seat convertible with 6 cylinders. To him, that's what BMW stands for, 6 cylinders purring. Andreas is a member of an antique car club, and he's already looking forward to mounting the special license plate on his Beamer in 5 years. But when he bought it, he wasn't even looking for an antique car. Andreas explains that all he wanted was a car that would get him to work. He likes driving with the top down. He only gradually became interested in the Beamer as a classic. He began reading vintage car magazines and realized his model was starting to come to the attention of classic car buffs. The series was launched in 1985, so the very first of them already have the antique car plates. But his BMW is from 1992, so he'll have to wait a few more years.
Aber der selber, der ist eben 92 und der braucht noch ein bisschen, bis dann tatsächlich ein Oldtimer ist.
To keep it in good condition, he doesn't take it out as often as he used to and gives it more tender, loving care. Andreas still loves to drive with the top down, especially after dark, through the Eifel Hill country, or to get some ice cream and come back. But it takes more than TLC to make an antique car. This is a vintage car meet, and they have to be at least 30 years old. Do Andreas and his car get funny looks at events like this? Hermann Josef Moiser believes a club like this lives from variety, and this beautiful Beamer is a part of it, just like this nice Morris. They represent the two extremes of the time span covered by the cars here. As it happens, Andreas isn't the only modern classic owner in the Rhein-Erft Antique Car Club. This Porsche Targa is a few years older than his Beamer, but it isn't old enough yet for the special plates either. Mark Stefanidis points out that no car is antique right away. It only becomes an antique over the years. His will be 30 years old next month, and he thinks it's great that some people are here with nice newer ones as well. Not even the exhibitors of rare vintage classics turn up their noses at the BMW 320i. They're only too glad to welcome the newer cars into their not-so-exclusive club. Willy Bruls thinks the antique car events should accept the modern classics because this is their future. It wouldn't do to tell their owners to come back when their cars reach age 30. They might not come back at all, and not everyone has the money to buy a true antique car. Andreas's 1992 BMW also has its fans at the antique car meet. Andreas will take good care of his car, so he'll have his classic, modern or not, for many years to come. Andreas's BMW 320i has made the transition from just an old used car to a modern classic. Even his two sons now think it's cool and argue over who will get it later on. But that's many years down the road. And by the time it's passed on to the next generation, it'll be a genuine antique.